She left him, not because he hurt her, not because he changed, but because he couldn't fund the fantasy she saw on Instagram. Vacations, handbags, a life of filters and flexing. And when reality didn't match that dream, she vanished. No empathy, no closure, just silence. But what if I told you that this wasn't about money at all? It was about value. And in the next few minutes, we're going to break down what most men miss when this kind of betrayal hits. This video will show you how a Stoic man responds, not with rage, not with begging, but with quiet power and a life that speaks for itself. If you've ever been left behind, used, or underestimated, you need to hear this. So don't just watch. Subscribe to Stoic 95 and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video that speaks to the strength you're building in silence. This is where your comeback begins. Number 1. Lifestyle over loyalty? Lose her loyalty too. There's a brutal kind of clarity that only hardship can give you. When a woman walks away because you're struggling financially, she's not rejecting you. She's revealing herself. She's showing you what truly moves her: comfort, status, material security. And while that may hurt, it's also the cleanest truth you'll ever get. Because real loyalty isn't proven when you're at the top. It's revealed when you're at the bottom. This is where many men get it wrong. They think they failed. They think they weren't enough. But understand this, you didn't fail her. She failed the test of loyalty. She left not because you changed, not because you mistreated her, but because the lifestyle she wanted no longer matched your reality. That's not love. That's a transaction. And any woman who views you as a provider first and a man second was never with you in the first place. She was with the lifestyle you gave her access to. Think of Marcus Aurelius, one of the wealthiest and most powerful emperors in history, who still spoke of simplicity, detachment, and resilience. He reminded himself often that all external things, even relationships, are fleeting and beyond our control. If someone walks away in your moment of weakness, the Stoic does not beg, he accepts. He sees it not as betrayal, but as exposure. Her leaving is not your loss, it's your liberation. The real tragedy isn't losing a woman who values money over you. The real tragedy is not recognizing that her absence is the beginning of your freedom. So don't chase her. Don't mourn what was never rooted in depth. Let her go. Let her walk toward the luxury she worships. Because a Stoic man stands rooted in something far greater, character. And no gold-plated lifestyle can ever replace a love forged in adversity. If she couldn't walk with you in the storm, she doesn't deserve to stand beside you in the sun. Number 2, she walks away. Stay silent. When a woman walks away, the average man scrambles for control. He begs. He texts long paragraphs. He tries to reason with her emotions, thinking logic will fix heartbreak. But here's the hard truth. Chasing someone who chose to leave is not strength, it's emotional surrender. When you try to explain your worth to someone who's already decided to leave, you're not persuading them. You're performing for your own ego. And worse, you're handing your power over like loose change. A Stoic man understands that silence is not weakness, it is a declaration. It says, I know who I am, and I don't need to prove it to someone who no longer sees my value. Take the example of a man who spent years building a life with a woman, only for her to suddenly leave. Instead of chasing her down or trying to rekindle what was already fading, he packed his pride, stood tall, and said nothing. He didn't react. He responded with stillness. Months later, she messaged, confused by his calm. But by then, he had already outgrown the situation. Because sometimes, healing happens in the silence you protect, not in the chaos you chase. The Stoic Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In modern terms, don't argue, don't explain, don't beg. Let her wonder. Let your stillness echo in the spaces where your words used to be. Because the loudest sentence a man can ever speak is silence wrapped in self-respect. It's in that silence where real masculinity lives. Not in the noise of pleading, but in the quiet dignity of letting go. Number 3, the broke phase is where you find your true power. Being broke isn't just about empty pockets. It's about standing at the bottom, stripped of everything: status, comfort, ego. It's the raw, silent battlefield where a man is forced to face himself. Most people fear this phase because it exposes truth. The illusion of control vanishes, and you're left with nothing but your habits, your thoughts, and your willpower. But here's the paradox: that emptiness, it's freedom. It's the blank canvas every great man once stood before. Take a man who just got left by the woman he thought he'd marry. He's emotionally shattered. His finances are tight. His phone is silent. No one's checking in. And that's exactly where his transformation begins. He's not going out anymore. He's hitting the gym. He's not spending to impress. He's investing in learning. He's not posting for validation. He's moving in silence. That version of him is dangerous, not because he's loud or rich, but because he's finally alone with purpose. It's in this isolation that men discover what they're really made of. The Stoics believed in turning obstacles into fuel. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's what the broke phase is, the obstacle that becomes your path. Most men fold when life pulls the rug from under them. The Stoic man, the disciplined man, tightens his fists and digs deeper. When she walks away and you're left in silence, don't waste time begging her back. Let that pain hit you, but don't run from it. Let it harden you. Let it turn you into the man she wouldn't recognize a year from now. Not out of spite, but out of purpose. Because a man who's lost everything and still chooses growth, that man is unstoppable. Number 4, success is the silent revenge. You don't need to scream your worth. You don't need to tell her she made a mistake. Because real men don't fight with noise. They move in silence, and they let their results speak volumes. When a woman leaves you, especially when it wasn't about abuse or betrayal, but because you weren't enough, it leaves a scar. Not just in your heart, but in your identity. You start questioning everything. But here's the truth. Your value isn't up for debate. It's not decided by her or anyone. It's revealed over time, through discipline, through growth, through the man you become after she walks away. Look at it like this. A luxury car doesn't blast its horn at every intersection. It doesn't have to. It's felt. It's respected. It glides by, powerful, polished, complete. That's what your life should become. After heartbreak, after rejection, after being counted out, the best revenge isn't a cold text, a bitter argument, or proving her wrong in some emotional outburst. The best revenge is building a life so solid, so beautiful, so undeniably elevated, that her silence becomes irrelevant. That one day, she will hear your name. Maybe it's in a room full of people. Maybe she sees your face on a screen. Maybe someone mentions your success casually in passing. And it hits her, quietly, deeply. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should. Be one." That's the Stoic path. Be one. Build. Grow. Become so centered, so powerful in your presence, that you're no longer reacting to your past. You're attracting your future. And the most powerful part? By the time she notices, by the time she sees what she walked away from, you'll have outgrown the need for her validation. Because you won't just have moved on, that you'll have risen, and you'll realize her leaving wasn't the end, that it was the beginning of the man you were always meant to become. Number 5, she regrets it because you didn't break. Most men collapse after a breakup. They spiral into desperation, texting, begging, posting to prove their worth. It's a cry for validation, a way to show, "Look at me, I'm still valuable. Please choose me again." But the truth? That energy kills attraction and respect. What shakes her to the core isn't your pain, it's your absence. It's your refusal to crumble. You didn't chase. You didn't explain. You didn't compete for her attention. You just disappeared, not as a trick, but as a man reclaiming his dignity. That's the moment her ego takes a hit. That's when regret plants its first seed. You see, indifference isn't about pretending not to care. It's about becoming so focused on your evolution that you genuinely stop caring whether she watches or not. You vanish, but not into darkness. You vanish into growth. You reemerge sharper, calmer, stronger, like iron pulled from the fire. She expects you to drown in sorrow, to orbit her. But when she looks again and realizes you've become harder to reach, harder to read, harder to replace, that's when it hits her. Regret doesn't come from losing you. It comes from realizing you never needed her to begin with. There's a line from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's the soul of this moment. You didn't allow rejection to define you. You used it as fuel. While most men fall to pieces, the Stoic man rebuilds with discipline. He faces his pain like a warrior sharpening his blade. He doesn't act out of emotion. He acts out of principle. And when she realizes the man she left didn't just survive without her, but thrived, that's when the silence starts to haunt her. That's when she replays every moment, wondering what she lost. And the cruel irony? She can't reach you now, because you've outgrown the version of yourself that needed her. This is the power of masculine restraint. The power of a man who refuses to break. A man who understands that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Number 6, don't take her back. Growth doesn't rewind. When she comes back, she'll say the things your heart once begged to hear. I miss you. I was lost. I didn't know what I had. And for a brief second, your mind might wander back to the nights you stayed awake hoping she'd say those exact words. But here's the truth. Just because she regrets losing you doesn't mean she ever loved you right. Regret is not love. It's guilt dressed in nostalgia. It's the echo of your presence now that your silence has become louder than your pain. Real growth doesn't circle back. Growth is forward motion. It's the man you became after she left. The one who had to rebuild his soul piece by piece. When she walked away without looking back, taking her back now would be like watering a dead plant with the blood you spilled healing yourself. You don't owe her access to the upgraded version of you. She left the beta version. Let her live with that decision. The Stoics teach us that the past is not to be mourned or repeated. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." That strength? It's your ability to move forward without bitterness. To understand that just because someone wants you again doesn't mean they deserve you. Sometimes they don't miss you. They miss the man who poured into them while he was starving for his own love. That a man who's grown doesn't chase closure. He becomes it. He doesn't reopen the door that the universe forcefully closed for a reason. Because he knows, taking her back doesn't heal the past. It resurrects the very pain he had to bury. And if you're truly becoming that stoic, grounded, unshakable man, you understand this truth deeply. Recycled love is like trying to wear your childhood clothes. It doesn't fit the man you've become. So keep your silence. Keep your dignity. And above all, keep walking forward. Not because you hate her, but because you love the man you've finally become. Number 7. The best revenge is no revenge. Just distance. There's a unique kind of power in silence. Not the silence of weakness, but the silence of a man who chooses peace over pettiness. A man who doesn't scream his growth, but lets it echo in the absence he leaves behind. The best revenge? It's not clapping back. It's not showing her you've leveled up on social media. It's not trying to win some imaginary scoreboard of who moved on faster. The best revenge is no revenge. Just distance. Quiet, disciplined, focused distance. You don't need to post about your transformation. You don't need to prove anything. Because when a man is truly on his purpose, he doesn't look back to see who's watching. He just keeps walking. And ironically, that's exactly when they start to notice. The silence becomes loud. The absence becomes haunting. She starts to feel the gravity of what she pushed away. But by then, you've already elevated to a place she can't access anymore. This is Stoicism in action. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that." Let that sink in. You rise, not by reacting, but by detaching, by becoming so centered in your path that her opinion, her curiosity, her guilt, none of it holds weight anymore. She may try to reach back, but what she once had access to is no longer available. Not out of spite, but because the version of you she knew no longer exists. Think about it. Every man has faced that post-breakup temptation, the desire to post that gym pic, to drop hints, to show her what she lost. But here's the truth. If she can still see you, she still has access to you. And access is power. A true high-value man removes access completely. No breadcrumbs, no signals, just silence. The kind of silence that doesn't beg for attention, but commands it. This isn't just emotional discipline. This is emotional warfare on a spiritual level. A man who can walk away without theatrics is a man she'll never forget. Because the world is full of loud, reactive boys trying to prove they're okay. But it's the man who simply vanishes, who chooses self-respect over drama, that leaves a permanent mark. Your distance isn't punishment. It's proof. Proof that you've matured beyond her reach. Proof that her chapter in your story has ended, not with bitterness, but with evolution. And that is the Stoic victory. She didn't leave because of who you were. She left because of what you lacked. But when she came back, you weren't just better. You were rebuilt. And the powerful part? You didn't chase her when you were broken, and you didn't chase her when you were whole. You stayed quiet. You stayed disciplined. You let the pain carve out a stronger, sharper version of you. That's the essence of Stoicism, not reacting, but rising. In this world, modern men don't beg for closure. They become it. So if you're ready to evolve in silence, to lead with strength, and to walk the Stoic path of true masculine growth, then subscribe to Stoic 95 and hit that bell icon. Because here, we don't chase who walks away. We become the man they'll never reach again.